You know, earlier today I heard some people talking. Probably was on the TV, and they were talking about refugees. And one particular, I think this guy's associated in one way or another with politics. He was pissed off about refugees being in their country. He was making it known that they were doing everything that they possibly could to get all the refugees out of their country and doing everything they again possibly could to make sure refugees did not get into their country. And if they were to get in there, it was because of some merit that that particular country was trying to seek a benefit from their being there. And so I say that if people are saying that about that particular country, we have to recognize for a truth that racists, uh, they weren't born. People were taught to be racist, to hate. You weren't born a hater, a bigot, a deceiver. You were taught to be all of these things. So when we start talking about making the world a better place, we should not, if we're got any kind of wisdom, not expect that to change overnight. That's like speaking English and the language just changed. Say French or Chinese. God forbid if it's Chinese. You might learn some French. You're not going to learn Chinese. But let's say it's Chinese. It's going to take you a while before you be able to communicate one with the other. So when you start talking about racists and bigots and haters and people who would take your land, people who will beat you down as a slave, people who would take away things that benefit you to make your life a little bit better, they'll cause you pain and suffering by taking that away just to fit their lives a little bit more. Yeah, these are people who were raised up under that other measure. It's not going to just stop because you wanted to stop. And it's really set up in a unique kind of special kind of way. Uh, you ask yourself, why do people profit from corruption? And this is what usually happens. They profit from corruption because usually there are guideposts that guides the conduct of people. And to make it short and simple, one people are taught to love and another are taught to hate. People who love got to act a certain way. People who taught to hate going to act a certain way. People, it appears that people who taught to love got their hands tied behind the back, and people who taught to hate free to do anything. I mean, nothing constrains them. So that's why it seems that corruption works for them. But then you say, well, how can the people benefit without corruption? Well, you look at it like this: everything that people do usually has one way or another to do with life, and everything that we deal with in America and in the world today that associated with life is going to take something special, not just your need, not just your want, not just your desire. It's going to take something special. It's going to take money, and money is controlled by another mechanism. And if you need the money, you got to get the money to from people who have stolen all all the resources that you have to use to make the things that you need. Oh man, it's so backwards. It's absolutely pathetic. But the way to defeat that is the things that people use the money to buy. All the stuff that people use, all the stuff that a lot tell people you got to lie, you got to cheat, you got to steal, you got hate, be a racist, be a bigot, be superior. All the things that you come up with, all the things that you come up with. Make it so that the people can access all of the stuff that they can buy with money without money. Make it possible. Make it possible. And so you might ask the question, well, how are you going to make it possible that they can buy a house, buy a car without money? That didn't even make any sense, people would say. Well, in the world that you're living in, no, it does. You're living in a capitalist society, And I'm sure the other societies, regardless of how they're set up, got some type of association with that, even socialism. But see, the original plan is not didn't work that way. The original plan is about you, the people. It's about you, the people. It's not about people trying to get money because see, you know how money is being used to exploit. This is why you got your super millionaires, billionaires, and I heard somebody talking the other day saying that this African dude that's trying to play like he's American. I can't think his name right now. White boy, you know what I'm talking about. They say he's probably gonna be the first trillionaire. Now, for him to be a trillionaire, yeah, that almost indicates that he has enough money to take care of everybody in any particular country. They don't have to suffer for anything. But there's gonna be one man. And see, that's how the systems of the world set up and make you think that it's okay because one day you might be able to do that. But that's not the way the world was set up to be. The world was set up so that every man, every individual on earth would never have to suffer for anything. And this is how you make sure that you can defeat corruption. All right. Now, you're going to say, well, how that going to happen? It's never happened before. Well, you've been, you've been thinking, because people have always been playing fake dumb, fake fake dumb. You've heard people talk about, well, you in America. Let's just stick with America. Maybe you can understand it a little clearer. Let's think about America. America is a white country. You know how America exists, regardless of what they try to teach you. You know how America exists, right? Now, they want you to think that God is white. First of all, they want you to think that God is a man. Secondly, they want you to think that God is white. Now, but all of the information indicates that God was not white. God was black. So that means that they were stealing who God is. They told you that God's son was a white Jesus. And all the information coming out now, since technology is advanced and we can get more information quicker, is telling us that God's son was black. I mean, what else would he be? He was black. I'm just talking now, just trying to make a little sense. And that would indicate that the first, if there were going to be people, that those first people would be black. But in the efforts to be fake, those other people have turned everything. The whole story of the Bible turned white. Everything turned white. And anything that was good turned white. And anything that was bad turned black. But I want to say this here. People have to read, smart people know. Dumb folks don't. A smart person knows that if you, just look at yourself, how many of you were your parents' firstborn? You were their parents' firstborn. What was the first that your responsibility was? To set an example for anybody that came later. Number one, set an example. It didn't make you special. You got there first. You were exposed first, experienced first. Others who have not looking at you. And you show them by the way you. So if black people are the first people, then it is our duty and responsibility to set the example for white people. We got to walk according to the light of life. And other people, it's going to be tough because they learn the other language. They don't know this language. And really, nobody really knows the language because the way I see it, I see the oppressor and the oppressed in the same position. The oppressed accepted being oppressed because they were deceived. They were lied to. It caused them a lot of pain and suffering. The oppressors were lied to. It didn't cause them the kind of pain and suffering that the others did. But what it didn't do, it did not give them the wisdom the knowledge of how to go forward because all they know is destruction. But because others suffered, they know how to stay away from suffering. They can sense it anywhere. So that gives them the authority to stand up to protect the people from any kind of suffering. They've been through it. You can't trick them. No, you're not going to trick black people. So this is the thing about what Trump and MAGA and all these white folks are talking about in the United States today. It's nothing but jaw jacking. They don't know what they're talking about. In fact, the white people that's trying to run the show right now is not trying to talk about anything but destruction. But destruction. And it's getting all the attention every day. When the other people stand up and try to fight it, you got to go through court, which takes some time. So the other stuff gets ramrodded every day, going until the court stops. It's going through everybody's mind, and there is no way but one to defeat it, and that means do the right thing. Do the right thing, because as long as one person is doing something that causes pain and suffering to anybody or one person, then all the people have failed. All the people. When it is right, you know it's right because everybody wins. The oppressed wins, wakes up and are not oppressed anymore. The oppressors win, wake up and not oppressing anymore. That's God. I mean, I know it sounds crazy. Out of all you had done to you, now these jokers gonna get away? Yes. That's that's what love is like. Love ain't like you. Love is not like you made it to be conditional. No, 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 no. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me see. And just think about it. Just think about how crooked society is and how it has always been. Now, just think about they come up with AI. And let's say that they do with AI the same thing they do with everything else. First, to try to see how they can use it to control and manipulate others. So let's say they take AI, who they can operate in such a way it can manipulate something and make it seem as though it's another person. It can manipulate his voice, make it seem like that not only that person, but that's that person speaking. And they can use all the other mediums before us to get that message out to you. Now let's think about all the deception that has come all of our lives. Now here they got a tool that can make this deception even more real. And we, the people, at the hands of something like that, look at Trump. Everybody knows Trump is a liar. Everybody knows Trump. I mean, God loves him, and he's got to be loved just like everybody else. But he's okay.